Welcome to the Consulting Success Podcast with your host, Michael Sapersky, where we take you deep into the world of elite consultants.
Hey, it's Michael Sapersky here. I was about to jump on another podcast interview with a great guest. Was excited to bring it to you at the last moment. They had some technical difficulties and we had to reschedule. So I thought I'd take this moment to share with you a chapter that I hope you'll enjoy from my book, The Elite Consulting Mind. And this chapter is called Outreach Imperfected. I sensed her hesitation, her face framed in a window at the corner of my computer screen. I caught glimpses of the office behind her, and I could tell she kept it neat and clean, everything in its place. On a shelf above her right shoulder, she had pictures of various important people she'd met during her career. Degrees, certificates, and awards hung in frames on the wall. Clearly, she'd had an impressive career. Belle is an expert in her field. She's worked for governments and large global organizations. Many have turned to her for advice, but something was troubling her. What is the most important step you could take right now to get more business? I asked her. Despite her vast experience, she didn't answer right away. I could see the wheels turning in her head as she tried to come up with an answer. She fidgeted in her seat. I tried a different approach. How do you win new business? I asked. What is the first essential thing you must do? She ceased fidgeting and sat up straight. Oh, that's easy, she replied. I meet with a prospective client. Exactly. If you want to win a new client, you have to meet with a client. So what are you doing right now to get in front of your ideal client? What are you doing to create more conversations with them? The thing is, she hesitated again, frowning. She started to say something, caught herself and started over. The fact of the matter is, Michael, I'm not sure if my message is perfected yet. I'm not ready to get in front of new clients without the right message. Plus, my website really needs to be updated. If I direct prospective clients to the website right now, it might reflect badly on my business. I'm working on it. In a few days, a couple of weeks max, it'll be perfect, and then I can reach out to new people more effectively. Most consultants know that getting in front of clients and creating conversations with them is the key to growing their business. Despite this, many of them find reasons to avoid it. As we've seen in previous chapters, there's always an excuse, always some reason to delay, always something else to work on first. Why do consultants do this? Because they want certainty. They want to guarantee that what they're doing will work. So they wait for conditions to be as perfect as possible. They continue to work on other things. They keep making excuses. The website, the blog, more research, more study. But when someone craves certainty from something they have yet to do, the only result will be ongoing uncertainty. It's only when you take action toward what you want to achieve that you will start to find the certainty that you are looking for. If you ever tried to squeeze the juice out of an orange, you know that you get most of the juice when you first start squeezing. After a few seconds, you're still squeezing with all your might, but you're only getting a few drops. Some consultants are still trying to get that last juice from that orange before they take a drink. But at this point, they're only wasting time and energy. I need more details, more reports, more videos, more stuff to study before I take action. No. If you're thirsty, what you need to do is pick up the glass and take a drink. What are the most common areas of uncertainty for consultants when it comes to meeting with clients? Messaging and marketing. Without a message that works well, right, they'll struggle to attract clients. So crafting that message, also known as a value proposition, becomes crucial. However, during the process of crafting that message, many questions arise, right? Will the message resonate with ideal clients? Will it garner their interest and attention? These questions leads to doubts, right? Which result in an endless tweaking of the message. The only way to find out if your message works is to put it into action, right? Maybe you're a perfectionist and you want to know that everything is in order before you take action. You work hard to position every word and you wait for the stars to be just perfectly aligned. The problem is attaining perfection is extremely rare. And even when it happens, it takes time. Even the greatest and most successful companies in the world and their most spectacular products have imperfections. Think about airlines, cars, luxury goods, world-class service businesses. Can you name a single one that never made a mistake or found an error in their product, service, or offering? The Coca-Cola company has been around for 130 years. They've grown to one of the largest corporations in the world with one of the most recognizable brands. Nobody would dispute the fact that they've become the most successful soft drink company of all time. However, they famously faced a rather unusual problem when they first introduced their product into China. Local merchants weren't sure how to translate the name of the company into Mandarin Chinese characters, so many of them simply put together symbols that sounded phonetically similar. Unfortunately, because of the nature of Chinese writing, each of these symbols carried a separate meaning. So even though they might have been pronounced in a way that sounded like Coca-Cola, they often created bizarre sentences. The most famous examples were female horse fastened with wax and bite the wax tadpole. Do either of those sound like beverages that you'd want to consume? Eventually, the company came up with the closest Mandarin equivalent, Keko Kele, and I'm probably not saying that right, but it translates as to permit the mouth to be able to rejoice. In terms of message, that's much better, but it took time to get there. By then, the soft drink had already been released into the Chinese market, proved popular, and even with those strange early translations. Perhaps the company's most famous mistake happened in 1985 when they attempted to change the formula for the soft drink, declaring it the new taste of Coca-Cola. The decision came about when nervous executives saw the soft drink losing ground in the market. During blind taste tests, consumers seemed to prefer the sweeter taste of their chief rival, Pepsi. Now, in order to compete, Coca-Cola executives decided to change their famous formula to something a little closer to Pepsi. They introduced this brand new version of their classic product in April of 1985, promoting it as New Coke. Despite a massive marketing push and initial curiosity from the public, the company faced backlash in some of their biggest markets from people who didn't like the new taste. In fact, after a relentless wave of angry letters and phone calls, the company soon reintroduced the original formula under the name Coca-Cola Classic. Pepsi was able to play off this failure by boasting in their ads that they'd won the so-called Cola Wars, I should say. In 1992, the new product was renamed Coke 2, but by then it had mostly become a cautionary tale for marketers. By the end of the millennium, it was completely off the shelves, which is why you can't go down the nearest grocery store and buy a new Coke today. The failure of New Coke has become one of the most famous marketing blunders in modern corporate history. What has the long-term impact been on the company? I mean, the Coca-Cola company not only survived that mistake, they learned from it and continued to grow. In fact, they bounced back from the New Coke fiasco relatively quickly, regaining lost ground in the market. New Coke wasn't the only time the company tried something new and failed. Do you remember OK Soda from 1993? The company's unsuccessful attempt to reach Generation X. It lasted less than 2 years on store shelves. How about Coca-Cola Black? Their strange combination of soda and coffee. Introduced in 2006, it was discontinued in 2007. Part of what has made the company so successful is their willingness to take risks with new products and new marketing. Sometimes they don't get the result they want, so they learn from the experience and adjust their approach. If Coca-Cola doesn't have to be perfect in order to become one of the largest companies in the world, why do you? Success requires taking risks, and taking risks means stepping boldly into uncertainty. Anytime you start something new or do something you haven't done before, you face uncertainty. This is as true in marketing as it is in anywhere else in life. A little bit of fear is normal and healthy, but you mustn't let it hold you back. When it comes to marketing, there are specific strategies that work well for consultants to grow their businesses. In fact, that's what we help our clients with in our coaching program. However, the reality is, even when you know exactly what you need to do, you will still feel a degree of uncertainty and fear. When that happens, the best thing that you can do is to take action right away. Don't let the fear take root and become an obstacle. You find out what works when you test it. Put it out there. See what kind of response it garners, and then you'll know whether or not to tweak it. When you fail to take action, when you're not doing outreach because you aren't 100% confident that your message and marketing will hit the mark the first time, you wind up twiddling your thumbs, waiting for ideal clients to somehow find you. It's a marketing strategy that is built solely on hope. In the end, you're left relying on your network and referrals, but when the referral well dries up, you're in trouble. That's when the real suffering begins. If you don't do outreach, you'll have fewer opportunities to get in front of your ideal clients. That means fewer conversations, fewer proposals, and even fewer projects won. If a door-to-door vacuum cleaner salesman doesn't go door-to-door, how many vacuum cleaners does he or she sell? If a retail store has nobody at the cash register and nobody on the floor, if they're all hanging out in the break room, tweaking their customer presentations, how many items on the shelves will they sell? There's no substitute for getting out there and meeting with prospective clients. You just have to get up and start doing it. Once you commit to doing outreach, a magical thing happens. You start to build momentum. That momentum puts you in front of more and more ideal clients, which means you'll have more conversations and more opportunities to identify value and make proposals to buyers. That leads to more business. Have you ever met someone who had less education and less subject matter expertise and experience than you, who also is somehow more successful than you, right? How can that be? Well, the answer to that is simple. They take more action. Your message and your marketing don't have to be perfect to create the results you want. Success doesn't demand complete accuracy right from the start. You can adjust and optimize things along the way. Successful people recognize when they have something of value to offer. They've created a product or designed a service that they are confident will work. They might not have complete certainty, but they know that the best way to build confidence in their message and their marketing is to test it, to put it out there and see what happens. Implement and take action on it. That's what successful people do. Coca-Cola put New Coke out there and it didn't work. But you know what? They put hundreds of popular products in markets all around the world and launched countless marketing campaigns that have brought in billions of dollars in revenue. The magic is learning as you do outreach. When you put your product, your service, your message out there, you will quickly discover what resonates with your ideal clients and what doesn't. You take those results and the data from your outreach and you use it to adjust and optimize. You're building your business and perfecting your message at the same time. And as you do that, your outreach becomes consistently more effective. And eventually you get to the point where it feels easy to attract high value clients. Turn your doubt into a strength. Push into it. Don't stop taking action. If you don't try, nothing happens. If you try, something spectacular might. Successful consultants practice imperfect action. They see and relish every opportunity to put something out there, to benefit from the learning process because they know that adjustments and course corrections are often necessary. The SpaceX program of Elon Musk is built around the idea of reusable rockets. They've had a number of spectacular setbacks along the way, including rockets that exploded on the launch pad. But you know what? They've learned from every setback, and the program continues to get better and better. Their successful landings are truly a sight to behold. What if Elon Musk had said, no, we can't launch a rocket until we are 100% certain that nothing could possibly go wrong? He'd never get anything off the ground. Many of the successful products that we know and love are the result of people taking imperfect action. The first electric bread toaster was created by an inventor named Alan McMasters in Scotland in 1893. It had obvious design flaws, chiefly that the heating element, which was made of iron wiring, melted after repeated use. It wasn't until 1905 that an alloy was created to fix the problem. From there, a more successful version of the toaster was released by General Electric in 1909 called the D12. It was still remarkably crude. The toaster still had a long way to go, but companies continued to tweak and improve the design. It's fair to say that the toaster has been one of the most successful appliances of the modern age, but it was the result of imperfect action. You have a choice. You can either harness the power of imperfect action to your advantage, or you can hide behind theoretical perfection and do nothing. The quickest and most direct path to success, to growing your business, is to reach out to your ideal clients with a message that you believe speaks to their needs, problems, and desires. Don't wait for perfection. Reach out to them now. Make them aware you exist and engage in conversation. Have a wonderful day, and I wish you great success.
Are you ready to take your consulting business to the next level? Learn more about the Accelerator Coaching Program at consultingsuccess.com.